The roar of the crowd faded into a deafening silence as the final whistle blew. Our undefeated streak shattered by a field goal I should have blocked. I slammed my helmet against the turf, tasting blood and defeat. While across the field, Jake Harlan, my shadow, my nemesis, pulled off his jersey in triumph, his eyes locking onto mine with a fire that burned hotter than the stadium lights. In that frozen moment, I hated him more than ever. But deep down, something twisted inside me, a secret ache I'd buried under layers of aggression and denial. It was senior year at Ridgewood High in suburban Ohio, the kind of Rust Belt town where Friday nights meant football under the floodlights, and dreams were as fragile as the autumn leaves crunching under our cleats. I was Alex Rivera, quarterback and captain, the golden boy everyone expected to escape this dead-end life on a college scholarship. Jake was the running back from the rival team across town, all sharp edges and unyielding drive, the son of a factory worker who'd clawed his way onto the field through sheer grit. We'd been circling each other since freshman year with my precise passes and unbreakable arm, him with those explosive sprints that left defenders in the dust. Practices turned into battles, games into wars. Coaches pitted us against each other in scrimmages. Fans chanted our names like curses. Rivera versus Harlan. They'd scream, as if we were gladiators in some ancient coliseum. But off the field, in the quiet hours when the adrenaline ebbed, I'd catch myself watching him too long in the weight room, tracing the sweat down his neck, wondering why my pulse raced like that. That championship game was supposed to be our reckoning. Our team, the Ridgewood Raiders, had bulldozed through the season, but Harlan High Hawks were the wild card underdogs with nothing to lose. Jake was their secret weapon, a blur of muscle and fury who'd transferred in from some nowhere town in Pennsylvania, bringing whispers of a troubled past he never shared. I told myself it was just rivalry, the kind that forged legends. But as we lined up for the coin toss, his grin cocky, knowing sent a shiver down my spine that had nothing to do with the chill wind whipping through the stands. The first quarter was a slaughter. Our defense couldn't touch him. He'd juke left, feint right, and boom 20 yards. Touchdown. The crowd erupted, a sea of red and gold jerseys swallowing the field. I barked orders, my voice raw over the chaos. But every time I dropped back to pass, there he was in my peripheral, baiting me, daring me to falter. By halftime, we were down 14-7, and Coach Ramirez pulled me aside in the tunnel, his breath hot with stale coffee. Rivera, this is your legacy. Crush him. I nodded, fists clenched, but as I glanced back at the field, Jake was there, chugging water, his chest heaving, eyes finding mine across the divide. For a split second, the hate cracked, and I saw something else: vulnerability. Longing. I shook it off, strapped on my helmet tighter, and charged back out. Second half, we clawed our way back. I threaded needles through their secondary, hit wide receiver Marcus for 2 scores, tied it at 21. The stadium pulsed like a heartbeat, cheers thundering in my ears. But Jake wouldn't yield. With 2 minutes left, 4th and goal from our 5, he took the handoff, and time slowed. I read the play, blitzing from the edge, our bodies colliding in a crunch of pads and bone. I wrapped him up, drove him into the end zone, but he twisted, spun, and powered over the line. Touchdown. Game over. 28-21. The whistle pierced the night, and everything blurred. Teammates slumped around me, the scoreboard a cruel monument to failure. I ripped off my helmet, gasping, and that's when I saw him celebrating with his squad, arms raised, but his gaze slicing straight to me. Not triumph, not mockery, something raw, almost apologetic. I turned away, storming toward the locker room, the weight of 1,000 expectations crushing my shoulders. Steam from the showers filled the air like fog in a war zone, the metallic tang of sweat and liniment hanging heavy. Our locker room was a two guys stripping gear in silence. Heads bowed. The usual post-game banter dead. I peeled off my jersey, wincing at the bruises blooming across my ribs, and headed for the showers, needing the scalding water to wash away the sting of loss. The tile echoed with drips, the only sound breaking the hush. That's when the door creaked open again. Footsteps. Deliberate. Not the shuffle of my teammates. I glanced over my shoulder, water streaming down my face. And there he was, Jake Harlan, still in his away jersey, dirt-streaked and soaked, his helmet tucked under one arm. Our eyes met in the mirror's fogged edge, and the world narrowed to just us, the steam curling like secrets between. "What the hell are you doing here?" I snarled, shutting off the faucet, grabbing a towel to wrap around my waist. My voice echoed sharper than I intended, laced with the fury I'd bottled all game. He didn't flinch, just stepped closer, his broad frame filling the doorway. Up close, without the pads, he looked human, tired. The cocky edge softened, his green eyes stormy under damp lashes. Needed to say something before it eats me alive. I laughed, bitter and short. Save the sportsmanship crap. Harlan, you won. Rub it in and get out. But he didn't move. Instead, he dropped his helmet with a thud, the sound reverberating like a confession. His hands trembled as he unzipped his jersey, letting it fall to the floor. "It's not about the game, Alex. Not anymore." His voice cracked, low and urgent, the first time I'd heard vulnerability in it. He closed the distance, inches from me now, the heat of his body cutting through the cooling air. Every tackle, every sprint, I wasn't just trying to beat you. I was trying to get close, to feel you fight back. My heart hammered, a traitor's rhythm. "What are you?" He cut me off, one hand gripping my shoulder, firm but not aggressive, his thumb brushing the edge of my collarbone. "I like you. Okay. More than rivals. More than this bullshit town makes us pretend." The words hung there, exposed, and in his eyes, I saw the truth, the late-night practices where he'd linger, the way he'd accidentally brush past in the hall. The notes slipped into my locker that I'd crumpled without reading, telling myself it was all mind games. I shoved him back, not hard, but enough to reclaim space. "You're full of shit. This is some twisted victory lap." But even as I said it, my body betrayed me, leaning in, the towel slipping just a fraction. Jake's laugh was hollow, pained. If it was, I'd be gone. But I'm here, risking everything me spot on the team. My old man's wrath because hiding it is killing me. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a folded paper, the edges worn like it had been carried too long. "Read this. Then tell me I'm lying." I snatched it, unfolding the note with shaking hands. Scrawled in his messy print, "Alex, every time you look at me like you want to destroy me, I wish you would. Because it'd mean you feel it too." Jay? The locker room spun, the steam closing in. All those charged moments replayed the grudge matches, the stolen glances, the electric hum when our shoulders collided. I'd chalked it up to competition, to the fire of youth in a town that crushed anything soft. But now, with his confession laid bare, the walls I'd built cracked wide open. "You're insane," I whispered, but my voice lacked conviction. I stepped closer, the towel forgotten, our bare chests nearly touching. His breath hitched, and in that suspended beat, I saw us not rivals, but two boys drowning in the same unspoken storm, fighting for air in a world that demanded we stay silent. He didn't push, didn't pull away, just waited, eyes pleading, as the first tear mine or his. I couldn't tell cut through the haze. The note burned in my fist like contraband, its words searing deeper than any hit I'd taken on the field. Jake stood there, frozen, his chest rising and falling in ragged sync with mine. The locker room's fluorescent buzz the only witness to this unraveling. I wanted to bolt, to laugh it off as a prank, but my feet rooted to the damp tile. Traitorous heart thundering a rhythm I'd ignored for years. "Alex," he murmured, voice rough as gravel. "Say something. Anything." His hand hovered near mine, not quite touching, like he feared I'd shatter or worse. "Swing." I crushed the paper tighter, the edges biting my palm. "This? You think this changes everything? One game, one note, and suddenly we're star-crossed lovers in some rom-com." Sarcasm was my shield. Always had been, but it cracked when his face fell, that guarded wall slamming back up. He raked a hand through his wet hair, droplets scattering like shattered illusions. "Not star-crossed. Real. I felt it since that all-star camp sophomore year, when you tackled me so hard we both ended up laughing in the mud. You remember? The way you helped me up, your hand on my back a second too long." I did remember. Vividly. The sun baking our skin, the scent of fresh-cut grass, his grin splitting wide as we rolled apart. Breathless, I'd replayed it in guilty loops, dismissing it as adrenaline. Now, it loomed like evidence in a trial I was losing. "That was nothing." I lied, but my voice wavered, eyes dropping to the tattoo peeking from his waistband, a small hawk in flight, inked in rebellion against his father's iron-fisted rules. "Nothing." Jake stepped forward, closing the gap, his warmth invading my space. "Then why do you flinch every time I get close on the field?" "Not fear, Alex. It's the same spark that's got me twisted up inside." His fingers grazed my wrist, light as a whisper, sending jolts up my arm. I didn't pull away. Outside, the distant cheers of celebrating Hawks fans filtered through the walls, a mocking reminder of the chasm between us. Ridgewood and Harlantown's divided by a river and decades of grudge. Schools that bred hatred like it was gospel. Gay kids here. They were ghosts. Whispers in bathroom stalls. Suicides tallied in hushed tones. Coming out wasn't brave. It was suicide by social media, by small-town vigilantism. I'd seen it Tommy Reyes, 2 years back, outed by a leaked photo, chased out before graduation. And me, captain, scholarship hopeful, son of a single mom who worked doubles at the diner to keep our lights on. One wrong move, and it all crumbled. Yet here was Jake, bearing his soul in enemy territory, risking the locker room gauntlet if my teammates walked in. That Kuragite ignited something fierce in me, a mirror to my own buried fire. What if I do feel it? The words escaped before I could cage them, hanging fragile in the steam. What then? We sneak around like criminals. Pretend it's just bro stuff until it blows up. His eyes lit, a dawn breaking through storm clouds. We figure it out. Together. No pretending. He leaned in, forehead pressing to mine, breaths mingling hot and urgent. The world narrowed to the salt on his skin, the faint stubble shadowing his jaw. My hand found his hip, tentative, then sure, pulling him closer until there was no space left for doubt. Our lips met clumsy at first, a collision of desperation and discovery. His mouth was warm, tasting of Gatorade and victory, soft despite the hardness of the man. I kissed him like I'd tackled him fierce, all in, pouring years of pent-up confusion into every press. He responded with equal hunger, hands roaming my back, tracing scars from old games, mapping me like forbidden territory. The towel slipped away, forgotten, as bodies aligned in a tangle of limbs and need. The shower's residual heat, nothing compared to the blaze between us. We broke apart gasping, foreheads still touching, reality crashing back like cold water. "Fuck," I breathed, a laugh bubbling up, equal parts terror and elation. "That just happened." Jake grinned. "That rare. genuine one that crinkled his eyes. Yeah, and it's just the start. But shadows lingered in his gaze. The weight of what came next. His phone buzzed from his discarded jersey, probably his ride. Or worse, his dad, the ex-Marine who equated emotion with weakness. I nodded toward the door. Go. Before someone sees. Regret twisted my gut, but it was survival. He dressed quick, stealing one last kiss soft, promising before slipping out, leaving me alone with the echo of his scent and the note clutched like a lifeline. Sleep evaded me that night, tangled in sheets that smelled of turf and regret. Mom was at work, the house empty save for the hum of the fridge and my racing thoughts. I paced my room, posters of Brady and Mahomes mocking my turmoil from the walls. Football had been my anchor structure in chaos, a way to channel the anger from Dad's abandonment, the taunts about my soft features in middle school. Now, it felt like quicksand, pulling me under with Jake's revelation. By dawn, resolve hardened. I texted him from a burner app I'd downloaded on impulse. Coffee. Neutral ground. 7 a.m. No emojis. No hearts, just raw intent. His reply pinged instant. Diner on 5th. See you there. The Dawn Diner straddled the river, a no-man's land of checkered floors and bottomless Joe, where truckers and teens hashed out truces over pie. I arrived early, cap pulled low, nursing black coffee that scalded my tongue. Jake slid into the booth minutes later, hoodie up, looking every bit the fugitive. We ordered pancakes we wouldn't eat, knees brushing under the tablia, secret circuit humming. Last night, he started, voice low, wasn't a heat of the moment thing. Been writing that note for weeks. I stirred sugar I didn't need, watching granules dissolve like my defenses. And the rest. The glances. The hits that felt like more. He nodded, fork tracing syrup patterns. Guilty. Thought if I pushed hard enough, you'd push back for real. A flush crept up his neck, boyish against his athlete's frame. My folks split when I was 12. Dad's all-man-up bullshit. Mom's in Philly with her new life. Football's the only place I fit. Until you. Sympathy twisted with desire. A potent brew. Mine bailed too. Mom's a saint, but she worries. If she knew. I trailed off. The unsaid heavy. Rejection. Disappointment. The end of her American dream for her queer kid. We talked for hours, dreams of college scouts. Fears of small-town traps. The electric pull that defied labels. By checkout. Hands linked under the table. Tentative plans formed, secret meets. Coded texts. A fragile bubble to nurture this thing blooming between us. But bubbles burst. That afternoon, practice loom joint session with Harlan High for good sportsmanship. Coach's decree. Seeing him across the field. All business and pads. Ignited fresh fire. We ran drills like lightning rods. Sparks flying with every clash. A late hit mine. Intentional drew whistles. And in the huddle, his glare promised payback. Or was it promise of more? Post-drill. In the shadowed bleachers. We stole minutes. Careful, he whispered, lips brushing my ear. They watch. I know. But recklessness surged. My hand slipping under his shirt, feeling the rapid thump beneath. We parted flushed, the line between rival and lover blurring dangerously thin. Weeks blurred into a fever dream of duality. On the field, we warred brutal, beautiful, each snap a dance of destruction and desire. Off it, stolen nights in abandoned lots. His truck's bench seat our confessional, bodies entwining under star-pricked skies. He was fire to my ice, unraveling me thread by thread. I traced the freckles across his shoulders, murmur secrets into his hair, feel whole for the first time. But cracks spiderwebbed. Whispers started, teammates noticing my distraction. Jake's bruises unexplained. My best friend, Devin, cornered me after weights. You good? Man. Look like you're carrying the world. I brushed it off, but guilt gnawed. Then, the scout email, Ohio State. Interested. Contingent on leadership. One slip, and poof, dreams vaporized. Jake faced worse, his dad sniffing around. Old prejudices flaring. He finds out. He'll ship me to military school. He confessed one night. Voice muffled against my chest. Pressure mounted. A noose tightening. Rivalry week approached, our rematch. The town's Super Bowl. Tensions boiled. Vandalism spiked. Slurs spray painted on gym walls. In that cauldron, our secret teetered. The night before the game, we met at the riverbank. Water rushing like unspoken fears. After this, I said, pulling him close. We tell them. On our terms. He kissed me fierce, tasting of resolve. Together. But dawn brought doubt, and the field awaited our war. The stadium lights blazed like interrogators' lamps, casting long shadows over the turf as kickoff loomed. Ridgewood versus Harlan rivalry etched in blood and banners. The air thick with bonfire smoke from pre-game rituals. Fans packed the stands. A riot of colors and chants. But my world tunneled to the 50-yard line, where Jake stretched, his form a silhouette of temptation and threat. Rivera. Focus. Coach Ramirez bellowed, clapping my helmet. I nodded, snapping to, but my eyes betrayed me. Flicking to Jake's warm-up sprints, powerful strides that stirred memories of tangled sheets and whispered vows. Last night's promise echoed, together. Yet fear clawed at my resolve. A beast roused by the crowd's roar. The coin toss heads. We deferred. Jake called tails. One. His smirk a private dare amid the pomp. As teams retreated, he brushed past, glove grazing my thigh. Play hard, he murmured, voice for me alone. I'll make it worth it. First quarter erupted in fury. I dropped back, scanning, and fired a spiral to Marcus clean. 20 yards. But Jake was a demon, stuffing our run on third down. His hit on our fullback echoing like thunder. By the break, 7-3 us. But the score felt hollow. Every collision laced with subtext. In the locker room, Devin's slap on my back jarred. You're off. Cap. What's eating you? Nothing. I lied, chugging water to drown the lie. But guilt festered. Devin, loyal since Pee-wee, deserved truth. Later, maybe. Halftime blurred into strategy. Ramirez diagramming counters to Jake's breaks. Wear him down. He growled. I suited up, resolve stealing. But as we trotted out, Jake's eyes met mine across the grass intense. Affectionate, and my stomach flipped. Second half. They struck first. Jake took the handoff, weaving through our line like smoke, diving untouched for 6. 10-7 Harlan. The crowd's jeers stung, but I answered 50-yard bomb to tie it. Then a sneak for the lead. 17-10. With minutes ticking, we traded blows. Interception on me. Fumble forced by Jake. Field goal. Touchdown. Tied at 20. Under 2 minutes. Ball on their 30. Their drive stalled. We got it back at our 20. Clock bleeding. I called audibles. Voice hoarse. Launching deep but tipped. Incomplete. Third and long. Sweat stung my eyes. Pads chafing like shackles. Hut snap. Drop back. Pressure. Jake blitzed unblocked. A freight train of intent. I scrambled. Juked. But he wrapped me, driving us both down in a heap at the sideline. Pain exploded in my shoulder. Turf burns searing my cheek. Whistles blew. Flags flew roughing the passer. But as refs untangled us, his weight pinned me. Face inches from mine. Breath hot. You okay? He whispered. Genuine worry cracking his game face. I nodded. Winded. The crowd's din fading. Finish it. Our eyes locked. A lifetime in that crush love amid the violence. Secret in plain sight. Penalty gave us life first and 10 at midfield. I shook off the hit. Called the play. Slant to Marcus. Snap release got. Lumbering toward Paydirt. Tacklers swarmed. He lunged. Inches short. Clock stopped at 08. Field goal range. But coach signaled fake sneak on 2. Linemen surged. I took the pigskin. Diving forward. Goal line blurred arms. Legs. The ref's spot. Touchdown. 27-20. Pandemonium. I rose. Mobbed by teammates. But scanned for him. Jake. Helmet off. Clapping slow from the sideline pride. Not defeat. In his stance. Extra point good. Kneel down. Final whistle. Victory. But Pyrrhic toll of hidden hearts. Postgame. Handshakes turned tense. Jake's grip lingered. Thumb stroking my palm. Meet after. He mouthed. I nodded. Pulse racing anew. The parking lot emptied slow. Taillights snaking into night. I lingered by my beat-up Civic. Keys jangling like nerves. Until his truck rumbled up. Headlights dipping. Hop in. He called. Voice casual for any eavesdropper. We drove in silence to the quarry's edge. Moon silvering the water below. A spot for teenage escapes. Engine off. Cab plunged dark. He pulled me across the console. Kiss devouring the day's residue. You were incredible. He growled against my neck. Hands urgent. Mapping familiar terrain. Couldn't have without you pushing. I reciprocated. Shirts shedding. Skin fever hot in the chill air. We moved with practiced rhythm. Bodies sinking like a perfect play-slow builds to crashing crescendos. Gasps echoing off glass. Afterward, sated and spent, we lay tangled, his head on my chest, fingers tracing lazy circles. This can't stay hidden forever, I said, staring at stars through the sunroof. The scouts coming next week. If they sense. Jake tensed, then sighed. My dad's on a tier heard rumors about that Rivera kid distracting me. Thinks it's girls. Bitter laugh. If only. We plotted in whispers, come out post-season. To trusted few first mom. Coach. His mom via call. Leverage the wind's glow. Frame it as strength. But doubt lingered. A shadow in paradise. Monday brought normalcy's facade. School buzzed with highlights me sneak looping on phones. Jake's runs viral. Lunch. Devin slid beside me. Dude. That hit from Harlan. Personal. His eyes probed. Friendly but sharp. I shrugged. Fork spearing mystery meat. All heat. He's solid competition. But guilt gnawed. Devin sensed the shift. Our bro code fraying. Practice was hell shoulder throbbing. Focus splintered. Coach paired us for one-on-ones again. Jake's rush is ferocious. Each rap a coded caress. Too slow. He'd taunt. But his eyes said mine. That night, Mom noticed. Home late from shift. She plated reheated lasagna. Eyes soft over candlelight our ritual. Proud of you. Me, Joe. But you look haunted. Her hand covered mine. Calloused from plates and dreams deferred. I swallowed hard. Words bubbling. Mom. There's someone. Important. Pause. Heart in throat. A guy. Silence stretched. Then her squeeze tightened. As long as he treats you right. And you come home to me. Tears welled. She pulled me into a hug. Fierce and forgiving. Ohio's changing. Slow. But you're my brave boy. Relief flooded. A dam breaking. Text to Jake, told Mom. She's in. His reply, hearts and love you. Emboldened. We escalated subtle PDAs in empty halls. A stolen kiss behind the gym. But ripples spread. Devin confronted post-practice. Saw you with Harlan. What's the deal? He messing with you. Truth time. Not messing. It's real. I braced for fallout. He blinked, processed, then clapped my shoulder. About time you smiled like that. But if he hurts you, I bury him. Laughter broke tension. Alliance forged. Jake's turn loomed his mom first. Long distance. Call on speaker in my room. Her voice warm. Wary. Honey, if he's good to you, I'm happy. Dad. Give him time. But the old man was the mountain. Rivalries, echo lingered. Scouts circled. Pressure mounting. Then, fracture. Anonymous tip to coach rumors of inappropriate between captains. He called us in. Face thunderous. Explain. He demanded. Door shut. We stood shoulder to shoulder. Hands brushing for courage. It's love? Coach. Jake said. Voice steady. Not a distraction. Stunned silence. Then nod. World's cruel. But team's family. Handle it smart. Warning. Not wrath miracle and machismo. High on acceptance. We dreamed big joint college apps. Future unfurling. But Jake's dad sniffed blood. Confrontation brewing. Storm clouds gathered. Our idol teetering. The air in Jake's living room crackled like pre-thunder. His dad's recliner a throne of judgment under the harsh glare of a single lamp. Harlan Sr. Buzz cut. Forearms like pistons from factory lines leaned forward. Beer in hand. Eyes boring into his son. I'd insisted on being there. A united front. But now, parked on the sagging couch beside Jake, my bravado wilted under the man's stare. Boy, he rumbled. Voice low and lethal. Rumors say you're shacked up with that Rivera punk. Football's about men. Not. Whatever this fairy tale crap is. The slur landed like a slap. Casual venom honed by years of barstool bigotry. Jake's jaw clenched. Knuckles white on his knees. It's not crap. Dad. Alex is my boyfriend. And I'm gay. Deal with it. I squeezed his thigh under the coffee table. Silent support. Heart pounding a war drum. The room smelled of stale smoke and unspoken grief photos on the mantle of a younger Jake. Mom smiling beside. Before the fracture. Harlan Sr. S laugh barked. Hollow. Boyfriend. In my house. After I busted my ass for your gear. Your scouts. He slammed the bottle down. Foam spitting. You'll straighten up or ship out of the academy. Where they beat sense into pansies like you. The threat hung. A guillotine blade. Jake surged up. Chest heaving. Beat sense. Like you beat Mom out the door. I'm done hiding for you. Voice cracking. He grabbed my hand. Pulling me toward the door. We're leaving. Outside. Night air cooled the blaze in my veins. But tears streaked Jake's face as we piled into my car. I'm sorry. He choked. Head in hands. Knew it'd blow. I drove aimless. Toward the river. His sobs gutting me. Hey. You're free now. That's when enough. Pulled over. I held him as storm broke rain, lashing windows. His body racked against mine. We'll crash at mine. Mom's got space. Home was sanctuary. Mom enveloped him in a blanket and cocoa. Her quiet strength a balm. Family's earned. Not blood, she said, patting his back. He slept on our couch. Fitful. While I lay awake. Plotting our escape scholarships as lifelines. Towns as prisons crumbling. Dawn brought resolve. School waited. A gauntlet of stairs. Whispers had metastasized. Fueled by the old man's loose lips at the VFW. Lockers slammed with extra force. Notes slipped. Fags don't play. But we walked tall. Hands brushing in halls. A quiet rebellion. Devin rallied the team half outraged. Half curious but loyalty held. Captain's stick. He declared in the huddle. Shutting down jeers. Practice became refuge. Our hits softer. Laced with winks. Scouts noticed the shift. Ohio State's rep called, "Heard about your situation. Shows character. We're in." Elation surged, but Jake's shadow lengthened. Dad's ultimatum, pack or conform. He chose us. Bags slung in my trunk. Crashing at Devin's garage till dorms. Fresh start, he said, kissing me under streetlights. But pain etched his grin. Town fractured along fault line, supporters with rainbow stickers on bumpers. Detractors with slurs on fences. A game against Central loomed. Neutral field. But threats buzzed, protests. Boycotts. Coach briefed us. Play for heart, not hate. Pre-game. Tension peaked. As we warmed, a scuffle, Harlan alums. Drunk and rowdy. Shoving fans. Fists flew. Security swarmed. Jake and I suited up amid chaos. Adrenaline spiking. "Stay close," I murmured in the tunnel. Kickoff was war. Central's line bullied. But we held me passes slicing. Jake's runs evading. Down 14-10 at half. Locker room seethed. "For us," Coach said, nodding our way. We exploded second half. Jake's 60-yard scamper. My 2-point conversion tossed to him open. Intentional. A statement in motion. 18-14 win. Postgame. Press swarmed. "How's the relationship affect team?" Jake fielded. "Arm around me. Makes us stronger." Flashbulbs popped. The world watched. But backlash brewed. Jake's dad escalated petitions to bench us. Calls to boosters. One night. Rocks through Devin's window. "Note, next time. You." Fear crept in. Our bubble punctured. We retreated to the quarry. Blankets and beer. Stars and different witnesses. "Worth it?" I asked. His head in my lap. Every bruise. His kiss was tender. Then urgent. Bodies reclaiming agency in the dark. Love as defiance. Pleasure as power. We lost ourselves. Reaffirming in gasps and grips. Morning brought news, scholarship offers. Duel from state, full rides. Shared dorm. "Are out," I whispered. But town wouldn't release easy. Climax brewed at the banquet awards night. Packed gym. Harlan Sr. lurking in back. Speeches droned. Our MVP nods drew cheers. But tension hummed. Then, mic in hand, Jake stood. "This game's taught me fight. For yards. For love. Elects me rival. My hearthers to us." Applause thundered. Mixed with booze. But we kissed on stage brief. Bold sealing fate. Chaos erupted. Dad storming out. Allies rising. A divide laid bare. In the melee, we slipped away. Hearts full. Horizon calling. Freedom's price paid. Love's victory hard won. Yet trials lingered. Resolution dawned slow. The gym's echo chamber amplified every cheer and hiss. The kisses aftershock rippling through the crowd like a stone in still water. Jake's lips lingered on mine a beat too long, salt and sweat. Defiance distilled before we pulled apart. Faces flushed under the banner lights. The banquet hall fractured, half rising in ovation. Fists pumping like we'd just scored the game's ghost. The other half seething. Chairs scraping as bodies surged toward exits. Harlan Sr.'s face, twisted in the back row, was a thunder headvins bulging. Mouth a slash before he barreled out. Doors slamming like Judgment Day. Security waded in. Whistles shrill. But we were untouchable. Hands clasped under the tablecloth as awards clinked on. Most valuable players, Alex Rivera and Jake Harlan. Our names boomed. Met with a roar that drowned the dissent. We ascended the stage together. Medals heavy as anchors. Speeches short and sharp. "Football's family," I said, voice steady for the mics. "Blood or chosen." Jake's ad. And love. That's the real playbook. Flashbulbs blinded. Reporters jostled local news. Even a Columbus stringer sniffing national angle. How long? Plans. We fielded with grins. United front. Long enough. Future's ours. But inside, my gut churned elation laced with dread. The kiss a line crossed. No retreat. Backstage. Coach enveloped us in bare hugs. Proud as hell. Boys. But watch your backs. His eyes flicked to the thinning crowd. Shadows lengthening. Devin flanked us out. Crew in tow, a human shield of jerseys and loyalty. Town splitting. He muttered. Pick sides. We piled into my Civic. Jake shotgun. Others crammed rear. Rain slicked streets to mirrors, reflecting our high laughter bubbling over engine hum. But at Devin's drop-off, reality nipped, shattered taillight. Fresh. Kids. He shrugged, but worry creased his brow. Alone at last, we drove to the overlook. City lights smearing below like spilled stars. Parked. We exhaled, bodies colliding across Consulcus's hungry, hands mapping victory's warmth. We did it. He gasped, shirt rucked up, my fingers tracing the metal's chain against his chest. Public. Real. Yeah. But pause hung, my lips on his throat. Dad. Fuck him. Fierce. But brittle. We made love slow in the back seat. Rain pattering, rhythma reclaiming. Tinder amid tumult. Afterward, wrapped in his jacket, he confessed, called Mom. She's booking a flight. Neutral ground. Relief swelled. His mom's acceptance a foothold. Mom prepped guest room. Tamales steaming as welcome. Mi casa, she said, hugging him fierce. Now eat. School Monday was battlefield. Hallways parted like Red Sea stars, sympathetic or scorching. Graffiti scrubbed, but scars visible, Harlan High heroes. Queers. Lockers vandalized. Mine with Rivera rides, Harlan and marker. I scrubbed. Jaw set. Jake appearing with cleaner. Our shoulders bumping solidarity. Classes dragged. Whispers a constant buzz. English. MS. Patel pulled me aside. Brave. Alex. Library if you need quiet. Ally in plaid skirt. Unexpected grace. Lunch. We claimed corner table. Devin holding fort. Petitions circulating, booster purge. Your dad's leading. He warned Jake. He nodded. Fork spearing salad. Let M. We're gone soon. But eyes shadowed. Uprooted twice. Fragility peaked. Afternoon practice. Coach ran light film review. No contact. Heal up, he said, but eyes scanned for saboteurs. We ran routes soft. Jake's handoffs lingering. A private code. Post whistle. He tugged me to equipment shed. Missed this. Quick. Heated clinch. Door barred. World shut out. But intrusion came swift knock. Devin's voice. Scouts here early. States guy? Panic flash. We straightened. Emerging flushed. Mr. Ellis. Crisp suit. Clipboard stern. Heard the noise. Character test. Over coffee in coach's office. He grilled. Rivalry to romance, how's it play? Jake leaned in. Better passes. Stronger runs. Trust. Ellis chuckled. Notes scribbled. Dorm assignment. Harlan Rivera. Make it count. Handshake sealed. Elation crested. Homebound. Billboard's Makadanti LGBT rally announced. Our town ground zero. Flyers littered lawns. Protect our boys. Jake's phone blew. Voicemails from Dad. Rage slurred. Come home. Or you're dead to me. He deleted. Blocking number. But hurt festered. That night, Mom's dinner turned therapy stories of her youth. Queer friends lost to silence. You too. Lights and dark. Jake teared. Fork down. Thanks. Mrs. R. Means world. Bed shared mine. Narrow but ours bodies spooned. His breath steadying mine. College. I whispered. No hiding. Dreaming it. Kiss to shoulder. Sleep claiming. But dawn shattered idle. News alert Harlan Sr. Filed complaint. Alleging grooming. Demanding investigation. School board emergency meet. Our scholarships threatened. Storm broke full. We rallied lawyer from GLAD. Pro bono. Allies flooding inboxes. Press conference set. Gym. Noon. Mike's live. Crowd swelled, supporters waving signs. Love wins. Detractors chanting slurs. Inside. We stood flanked. Mom. Devin's crew. Coach. Jake spoke first. Voice rock. This isn't about football. It's about being human. I followed. We love. That's the win. Questions flew hostile. Probing, but we held. Truths unyielding. Board relented. No merit. Case dropped. Cheers erupted. Hugs crushed. Tears flowed. Jake's mom arrived. Evening hug marathon. Stories swapped over pizza. Proud. She whispered. Eyes on Dad's empty chair. He'll come around. Or not. You fly. Week blurred to packing boxes labeled state. Duffel stuffed. Town simmered. But we walked freer. Hands linked open. Final practice. Team gift. Jerseys twinned. River lawn stitched back. Laughter. Slaps family forged. Banquet echo haunted. But growth bloomed. Dad's silence a scar. Healing slow. Rally came. We skipped. Choosing Quarry Vigil wine from Mom's stash. Toasts to tomorrows. Graduation dawned, golden caps tossed. Diplomas gripped. Stage kiss drew wolf whistles. No booze. Harlan Sr. Absent. But a letter waited. Jake's. Unread. Later. He said. Pocketing. Summer stretch jobs at camp. Coaching kids. Our love lazy days by lake. Nights. Truck beds under meteors. Futures scripted in skin. College loomed. New field. Same fire. Rivals no more. Partners eternal. Yet heart's true test awaited life's long game. Columbus welcomed with urban sprawl and autumn crisp. Ohio State's campus a sprawl of brick and ambition under leaves turning fire red. Move-in day. Boxes thumping dorm stairs. Jake and I hauled gear in sync, his duffel bulging with hoodies. Mine with playbook binder slaughter echoing off cinderblock as RA sparked directions. Room 412. Twin beds pushed together per sly note to housing. Window overlooking the oval's green expanse. Home. Jake breathed, collapsing on the makeshift queen, pulling me down into a tangle of limbs and new beginnings. Unpacking blurred into domesticity, posters pinned, ours. A joint collage of field triumphs and candid us. Mini fridge humming with Gatorade and Mom's care packages. First night. Pizza slices cold on desks. We mapped schedules, my comms major. His sports admin. Practices overlapping like our lives. No more sneaking. He grinned, nuzzling my neck. Just us. But freedom's edge cut sharp. Freshman orientation icebreakers in lecture halls. Names exchanged with wide-eyed faces from suburbs and cities alike. Alex and Jake couple goals. A girl teased. Rainbow pin glinting. We laughed. But vulnerability prickled. Small-town armor shed. Raw under spotlights. Football tryouts loomed weak, 2 Buckeyes walk-ons. Cutthroat for scout squad spots. Field sweltered under midday sun. Vets towering. Coaches barking like drill sergeants. I dropped back. Spirals slicing air. But nerves jangled, shoulder twinge from old hit flaring. Jake powered through cones. Burst explosive. But a vet's blindside sack jarred him hard. Whistle halting play. Harlan. Soft. Coach snarled. Jake rose. Grit masked. But locker room later. Ice packs pressed. He vented, like high school. But bigger. What if we don't cut it? I massaged his calf. Steady. We will. Together. That night. Stress melted in sheet slow. Affirming. Bodies reaffirming worth beyond yards. Cuts came brutal. Half the walk-ons axed day 3. We survived. Bearlime, third string QB. Him rotational back. Elation, mixed relief. Team huddle welcomed. Slaps solid. No whispers. But vets probed. Heard you two were rivals. Spill. Stories spun into legend. Our kiss the punchline accepted. Even envied. Classes challenge psych lectures on identity resonating deep. Econ graphs mocking blue-collar roots. Study sessions in library nooks. Jake's foot hooked, round mine under table. Notes shared like secrets. Friends bloomed. Tyler. Non-binary artist with killer sketches. Lena. Poli-sci firebrand organizing queer alliance meets. Join us. She urged. Flyer thrust. We did first meeting. Circle of faces. Story spilling. Jake's voice trembled sharing dad's rejection. Hugs followed. Solidarity thick. Fall deepened. Games ramping. First Buckeye clashes on sidelines. Towels snapping. Adrenaline proxy. Wind thundered. Stadium quake. Post-game bar crawl. Foam cups raised to underdogs. Jake's arm round my waist. Casual norm here. Electric still. But ghosts nipped. Midterms crushed. Sleep scarce. A bad snap in scrimmage drew bench time. Self-doubt gnawing. Not good enough. I muttered post-practice. Tape peeling from fingers. Jake cornered me showers. Bull. Your starter material. His kiss under spray wet. Insistent washed out. Steam cloaking us in privacy. Thanksgiving loomed. Homesick pull. Mom's invite. Bring him. Turkey for all. Jake hesitated town visit. Dad's shadow. One dinner. I coaxed. Road trip yielded. Diner stops. Sing-alongs to Old Rock. His hand on my thigh mile marker steady. Ridgewood greeted wary Main Street stairs. But rainbow flags sprouted on porches. Allies groan. Mom's table groaned. Turkey golden. Devon crashing with pie. Laughter flowed. Stories retold. Jake's ease bloomed. Fork waving anecdotes. But evening walk. Riverbank. He tensed. Dad's truck there. Silhouette idled. Engine rumble. We froze. Then, slow, it rolled forward. Harlan Sr. emerged. Gaunt in flannel. Eyes hollowed. Son. Jake stiffened. My hand in his vice. What? Letter. Read it. Envelope thrust. Voice gruff. Therapy. Groups 4. Folks like us. Pause. Awkward. Missed the game highlights. Good runs. Shock rippled. Olive branch. Thorny. Jake took it. Nod curt. Thanks. Wheel. Talk. Truck retreated. Taillights fading. We exhaled. Processing. Healing. I ventured. Maybe. His kiss. River lapped. Tasted hope. Back to campus. Momentum built alliance float for homecoming. Us marching arm in arm. Crowd cheering. Grades climbed. Practices sharpened. Scout whispers for spring leagues. Winter blanketed. Snow muffling quad paths. Holidays split, me with mom. Him Philly bound with his mom's warmth. Calls nightly. Voices bridging miles. Love's thread taut. Spring thaw track meets. Jake's sprints gold. My throws in ultimate frisbee. Team co-ed and queer inclusive. Dates proper, botanic gardens. Hands free. Dive bars. Dancing close to pulsing bass. But fracture tested. Anonymous email to coach old rumors dredged. Distraction flagged. Inquiry loomed. Hearts sinking. Again. Jake groaned. Pacing room. We prepped affidavits from Ridgewood allies. Team letters vouching unity. Hearing stark, panel stern. But testimonies poured. They elevate us. Cleared. But toll lingered trust bruised. Rebound in summer internship sports media for me. Training camp for him. Ohio heat wave. But shared apartment off campus. Rent split. Nights inventing recipes. Mornings tangled lazy. Fall senior year wait. No. Sophomore stride. Plays called Boulder. Romance deepened. I love U.S. ritual. Proposal whispers not rings. But futures, pro dreams. We're coaching together. Trials echo faded. Growth rooted. One night. Stargazing oval. Jake turned. Marry me. Someday. Tears pricked. Yes. All days. Life's field stretched. Rivals to soulmates. Love's playbook unwritten. Yet horizon held one last curve of fate's fumble. Redemption's run. Sophomore slump hit like a blindside blitz. The kind you don't see coming until the pads crunch and the air whooshes out. It started subtle. Jake's runs lagging in early practices. My arm hanging heavy after throws. The Buckeye coaching staff side eyes sharpening from casual to critical. Rivera. Zip it up. Barked the OC during film. My spirals looping soft on tape. Jake caught it too. His bursts off the line a tick slower. Vets edging him out for reps. Rust. We called it. Blaming summer's lazy heat. But doubt crept in like fog off the Scioto, thickening our dorm nights. Classes piled on midterms, a gauntlet of all-nighters. Econ models mocking my focus. Jake's admin seminars droning through his yawns. Alliance meetings offered outlet. Stories swapped over coffee. But even there, fractures showed, a new member's barb about jock privilege stinging, reminding us scars from home lingered. We're not them. Jake snapped post-meet. Pacing our room. The twin beds now a king of mismatched sheets. I pulled him down. Kisses distracting. But release felt hollow. Bodies moving through motions while minds raced. The email dropped mid-October. Innocuous sender, OSU_on. Harlan's dad called boosters. Says you're a liability, old news. But fresh poison. Attached, transcript of a voicemail. Harlan Sr. S. voice gravel rough. Railing about my boy ruined by that spit quarterback. Slurs sliced deep. Echoing Ridgewood echoes I'd thought buried. Jake paled reading. Phone slipping from numb fingers. He won't stop. Rage boiled. But strategy won. Forward to athletic director. CC legal. Response swift restraining order advisory. Counseling mandated for family reconciliation. Jake balked. See him. After that. Or he wins. I countered. Cupping his face. Thumbs brushing jaw. We ended our way. Reluctant nod. Session booked. Neutral ground campus clinic. Mediator buffered. Wait nod. Games ramped. Our play faltering under spotlight. Homecoming Rudis benched. Watching backups shinestung worst. Locker room post. Vets clapped shoulders. But whispers slithered, couples cursed. Devin. Visiting for tailgate. Pulled me aside. Fight it. Man. You're Buckeyes. Energy surged. Next scrimmage. We ignited Jake's 60-yard tear. My 50-yard dart threading impossible. Reps returned. Fire rekindled. But session loomed. Dread coiling. Clinic room sterile. Harlan Sr. Early creased shirt. Eyes downcast. No flannel armor. Mediator introduced. Air thick. Son. He started. Voice cracking. Letters from group. Open eyes. Hurt you bad. Sorry ain't enough. But it start. Jake rigid beside me. Arms crossed. Why now? After poison. Scared. Lost your mom. Then you thought tough love fixed. Pause. Tears tracking. Therapist says grieve right. Want to. Try. Words hung. Bridge or bait. Jake exhaled slow. Actions. Dad. Not words. Show up for real. Hand extended. Tentative. Class brief. Charged. We left lighter. Not healed, but cracked door ajar. Momentum built plays crisp. Grades rebounding. Thanksgiving redux, moms. Devon crashing. Harlan Sr. Invited tentative. Awkward plates passed. Small talk halting. But he stayed, complimenting Jake's form on highlights. Progress. Glacial. Winter quarter plunged colds now blanketing practice fields. Indoor drills echoing gyms. Jake's speed ticked up. My arm iron smooth. Scout chats buzzed for juniors. Dates warm chill. Ice rink loops. Gloved hands linked. Cocoa steam on breaths. Lena's crew expanded protest plans for campus equity. Us tabling flyers. Voices amplified. But fumble came swift, bar night. Post-win. Vet cornered, Jake drunk slur. Shove. Fists clenched. I intervened. De-escalating. But bruise bloomed on his cheek next morn. Not worth ejection. I soothed. Ice pack pressed. Report filed. Suspension for vet justice. But rift widened team seams. Spring bloomed fragile track for Jake. Gold and relays. My broadcasting internship. Mic in hand calling scrimmages. Apartment summer sublet. Nights cooking experiments burnt stir-fry to triumphs. Laughter seasoning. Love deepened. Anniversaries marked. First kiss plaque from Ridgewood. Etched rivals to forever. Yet shadow lengthened projections dimmed. Injuries nagging. Coach pulled US. Talents there. But heart. Dig deeper. Challenge lit fuse. Extra lifts. Film marathons. Us pushing each other rivals reborn in partnership. Senior year dawned electric starters slotted. Hype building. First game. Sold out horseshoe. Us electric. Jake's 3 TDs. My 300 yards. 38-17 route. National feeds clipped our post-game embrace. Headlines. Buckeye lovers lead charge. Fame flickered interviews. Endorsements whispers. Off-field. Harlan Sr. Progress games attended. Tailgates tentative. Proud. He grunted post-win. Clap awkward on Jake's back. Mom's diner visits. Tamales shared. Family mosaic forming. Trials peaked. Championship run. Pressure cooker. Semis. Jake's ankle rolls limp through OT win. Ice thrown after. Finals eve. Hotel room. I massaged. Whispers fierce. Champions tomorrow. Stadium thrummed. Lights godlike. We battled hits thunderous. Scores nodded. Fourth quarter. Down 3. My drop back. Jake streaks open spiral connects. 60 yards. Untouched score. 28-24. Clock ticks. Neil national title. Confetti rained. Rings slipped fingers. Kisses under Cleek's world witnesses. Harlan Sr. In stands. Tears streaming. Nod profound. Post-glory. Drafts called me analyst track. Jake free agent grind. Life pivoted. NYC for me. Camps for him. Distance tested. But visits bridged airports embraces. Promises etched. Years spun. My ESPN desk. His CFL stardom. Rings exchanged quiet Vegas chapel. Mom officiating via Zoom. Harlan Sr. Walked him. Voice thick. My boy. Ridgewood revisited. School named Field Rivera Harlan. Kids running free. Love's legacy. Rivals redeemed. Hearts unbroken. In quiet moments. His head on my chest. I whispered, best play ever. Decades later. The sun dipped low over the Ohio hills, painting the old stadium in hues of amber and rose. Much like that championship night so many autumns ago. Jake and I stood on the 50-yard line, not in cleats, but loafers scuffed from city walks. Our hands intertwined as naturally as a handoff. The field bore our names, now Rivera Harlan Memorial. Plaques gleaming with stats and stories. A testament to the boys who'd turned rivalry into revolution. Kids scampered sidelines, practicing routes under Coach Devon's watchful eye. His hair silvered, but bark unchanged. Line up straight. He hollered. And we chuckled. Echoes of our youth. It had been 20 years since that confetti storm. The rings on our fingers worn smooth from daily wear. Vows renewed in a backyard ceremony 5 years back, Mom's roses blooming wild. Harlan Sr. Toasting with a steady hand. His apologies long since woven into forgiveness. Life had unfolded like an epic playbook, my broadcast career skyrocketing from sideline reports to primetime desk. Voice carrying games to millions. Jake's gridiron odyssey taking him from CFL flashes to NFL backup glory. Then coaching stints that lit young talents like he once was. We'd built a home in Columbus Victorian fixer-upper. Backyard grill eternal. Walls lined with jerseys and framed notes. That first crumpled confession yellowed but cherished. But time's toll was kind. If insistent, Jake's knee ached on damp days. My voice a touch gravel from late nights. Laugh lines mapped joys and jabs. Retirement beckoned gentle, my network signing off-season gigs. His assistant coach role at State a legacy loop. Full circle, he'd say, kissing my temple over morning coffee. Steam curling like old locker room haze. Today marked the dedication ribbon cut. Speeches droned by suits. But we'd saved ours for now. The field emptying to twilight hush. A young quarterback lingered. Helmet under arm. Eyes wide. You guys really rivals. Like enemies too. This. Jake ruffled his hair. Grin crooked. Worst enemies. Best win. The kid beamed. Scampering off. We turned to the horizon. River glinting distant. Ridgewood's lights winking like old friends. Remember the quarry? I murmured, thumb tracing his wedding band. Every star. His arm snaked round my waist. Pulling close. The same electric pull undimmed. We swayed slow. No music but wine through goalposts. Bodies fitting like puzzle pieces worn perfect. Challenges had come. Unscripted fumbles. The miscarriage scare with our surrogate. Hearts shattering then mending with adopted twins now teens. Fierce and queer proud. Rolling eyes at our ancient stories. Jake's cancer brush a decade back chemo battles. My hand in his through scans. Remission a touchdown danced in hospital halls. Harlan Sr. S passing quiet. Parkinson's thief. But final words, loved you true. Son. Mom's pride undying. Her diner a franchise now. Tamales shipped cross-country. Through it. Love-anchored fights fierce as fourth-quarter drives. Makeups tender as halftime confessions. We'd mentored. Marched Alliance founders. Scholarships in our name pulling small-town kids from shadows. Value human. That's the gospel we'd preached. Lived. In boardrooms and bedrooms. Sun kissed horizon. Chill nipping. Cold. Jake teased. Jacket shrugged off. Draped over us both. Never with you. Kiss soft. Lingering. World fading to us alone. As stars pricked velvet sky. We walked off field. Hands linked. Legacy trailing. Rivals once. Eternal team, it's love's undefeated season. Heart's true MVP.